Good morning, folks. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. Snapzilla Gorilla of the Definition of Anarchy channel, hitting y'all with a quick video. And this one, man, look, it brings me no joy to do a video like this, but I have to do it because whenever people display their tyranny and display their psychopathy, it's very important that it be brought to light. Now, I want you guys to understand this. I don't get on these people. I don't get on Brandon Tatum. I don't get on Anthony Brian Logan and whoever else to clout chase. Because actually, if I want to clout chase and get more of a following, I would be doing a lot more than I'd be a lot more extra than I am right now. Right now, I'm going against his points of view. I'm going against his stances. I'm not going against him personally. I'm not attacking him. I'm not attacking his mama. I'm not attacking his wife, right? I'm just going at his thought processes. I'm going at his arguments. I'm going at his hypocrisy. And also, it doesn't, going after cats like Brandon Tatum, who has such a huge following across many platforms, going against people like that, it doesn't help me. I don't get more followers by going after these people. I don't. People, the first video, not the first video, but I think it was the first video I did of Brandon Tatum. I think it was another dangerous black conservative. The like to dislike ratio on that video is horrible. Okay? Going at him did not help my channel. It doesn't boost my channel, and that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because this is the thing. People are going to watch the video because his name is in the title. But then they get to see what he has said and what he has done that goes against freedoms, that goes against common sense, that goes against anything good. You see? Because he's a Christian, right? He's a Christian. He always talk about helping people, and he's helped so many people and this, that, and the third. But when it comes to policing and police officers, all that compassion gets switched off just like that. And what I'm about to show you is proof positive of this. And I'm going to give you some context. The context is this. This is a live he did. I'm not going to go through the whole live. I'm going to go through this little piece. And what I want to show you is that he's talking about policing, right? He started off by saying that he's getting tired of people disrespecting police officers. All right, and then he's talking about how, as a police officer, you got to be ready and willing for it to go 100% wrong 100% of the time, and that there are certain things that you're going to have to do as a police officer that will make you question your sanity. I don't know, but he's basically he's telling you to your face that police officers are trained and they are forced to believe that when they go out to do what they got to do as police officers, they're going out into a battlefield, that people that you encounter might have bad intentions towards you, and you got to be able to handle them and kill people, and just right off the bat. This is the problem with policing. The problem with policing is they're not out there to serve and protect the people. They're out there to find, seek, and destroy the enemy. And the enemy is anybody they encounter on a daily basis. Because they're not going around, for the most part, they're not going up to people and asking them how they're doing. They're not going up to people that are not doing it. What the fuck? They're not going out and encounter people and confronting people that they feel are doing the right things. They're not saying, oh man, can I help you carry this and do that? There are very few police officers that might do that. No. When they go out there, they're in their patrol car and they're looking for trouble. If you look for trouble, you're going to find it. All right? Just like if your woman go through your phone, if she's looking for something wrong, she's going to find something wrong, whether it is wrong or not. And her mind is going to be wrong because she's going through your cell phone expecting to find some chick texting you, telling you that she want to suck your dick. All right? And it doesn't even, that doesn't even have to be said. It could be something like as simple as, hey, can you bring me some ice cream? Or, oh, I would love some ice cream. Oh, well, is that cold for sex? You know, it's, you know what I mean? So if you go out looking for something and it's in your mind that you're going to find it, whether it be negative or not, it's going to be there. You're going to find something to validate your concerns or your positive, optimistic outlook. So what he's telling us is that as a police officer, you got to be able and really ready and willing to turn your killer instinct on no matter what at all times. And this is the problem with police training. This is the problem with the mentality of police officers. And this guy right here is going to give you a perfect example of what he's talking about. And it's not me saying this, you know, and I just gave you the context. There's going to be a little bit more context before he gets into the meat of it. And then there's going to be some context afterward. There's no other way to understand what he's saying. There's no other way to interpret what he's saying in my mind other than what he's going to say. All right, let's get into it. Let's get this cracking. Let's get it popping.
He fell asleep at the light, and me being a police officer, my son was in the car. It's a Sunday morning. We going to church. The man is at the light. I'm honking at him. He's not moving. I'm thinking the man could be dead, so let me get out the car and make sure the man is still alive. I get out. The brother's like this. I knock on the window. He opened and rolled down the window, and it smells like a brewery. I see a beer can in his driver's seat. He looks at me, and he drives off. Now I can follow him, and I'm a cop. You know, I'm off duty, but I still have arrest powers. I still can act off duty as a police officer. I still have my badge and everything with me. I can, you know, do an arrest right there. But I was driving, and I said, you know what? If this man pulls out a gun, if he start acting stupid, I don't want to have to kill nobody today. I'm gonna follow the man. I'm gonna get a police a good description of him, and then I'm gonna let it go. You know, there's some times where you have to assess, and I'm not saying right or wrong. I could have followed him. If I didn't have my son in the car, I would have followed him. And if he got out with a gun, I would have killed him. You know, so, but I had my son with me, so I'm like, you know what? It's not worth the fight. Because I don't want to have to kill this man in front of my son, because I am expecting it to go completely south. Everything you do as a police officer, you have to expect that it's going to go 100% south. This situation with an old lady reporting a burglary call can be life and death. When I go to this call, she's a 90-year-old woman reporting a burglary. I have to be ready to kill that lady if I have to.
Did you hear what he just said? He has to be ready to kill that lady if he has to. What? Not kill the burglar if he has to, but kill that lady if he has to. What? Let me look. This is what he said.
It can be life and death. When I go to this call, she's a 90-year-old woman reporting a burglary. I have to be ready to kill that lady if I have to.
He has to be ready to kill that lady if he has to. Y'all heard that, right?
Can be life and death. When I go to this call, she's a 90-year-old woman reporting a burglary. I have to be ready to kill that lady if I have to. And then people...
He has to be ready to kill that lady if he has to. Not the person breaking into that lady's house, but that lady. He's telling y'all that when you respond as a police officer to a burglary call, you got to be ready to go in there, guns blazing. And if guns are blazing, then guess what? There could be collateral damage in the old 90-year-old lady. You might end up striking her with a bullet. And he's okay with this. So how would we expect him to have a sane and logical interpretation of anything involving a police officer, including not even a police officer, anybody that he thinks is a criminal, Arbery? How would we expect him to have a logical, sound, sane, and compassionate interpretation of any police encounter, any encounter with a suspected criminal, whether it be from someone who's making a citizen's arrest, whether it be for a cop making a regular ass arrest? What? He doesn't mention the burglar. He mentions killing the old lady if he has to. If he has to, in what instance would you have to kill an old lady? A 90-year-old lady who called in a burglary. She's not the burglar. Why are we having to kill old ladies that are calling in burglaries? I'm going to tell you why. Because it's their objective. The objective of the police officer is not to serve and protect. It's to seek and destroy. It's to seek and extort. It's to seek and harass. It's to seek and assault. And if you're in the way, if you just happen to be in the vicinity when they letting off shots, or if they go into the house and they're expecting a burglar and they're switched on and they're ready to aim and fire at anybody that's moving in that apartment or in that house, even if it's the old lady, so be it. If you have to kill an old lady, if you have to kill the burglarized woman that's calling you in, that's calling you to come help her because someone broke into her house, you might have to kill her because you're ready to kill whoever and whatever when you receive that call. How else am I supposed to interpret that? You just told us you got expected to go 100% south all the time when you're out there policing and you're responding to a call. What other way are we supposed to interpret that? I'm going to rewind that again. What was it?
Everything you do as a police officer, you have to expect that it's going to go 100% south. This situation with an old lady reporting a burglary call can be life and death. When I go to this call, she's 90-year-old woman reporting a burglary. I have to be ready to kill that lady if I have to. And then people may think, oh, that's so weird and whatever. But you
oh, is that what we think? Oh, it's so weird. Oh, it's so weird that you would think that you'd have to kill an old lady, a 90-year-old lady that's calling in a burglary. Oh, that's so fucking strange. Oh man, that's weird. Oh, no. That's not weird. That is psychopathic. That is nuts. That is insane. That is evil. That's evil. I had to kill that old lady that called in the burglary because you go 100%. What? In what instance would you have to kill a 90-year-old lady that's calling in a burglary? Can't you be careful when you show up to the house and ensure that you're not just killing whoever and whatever? Now, this came up because he's talking about this, I forgot her name, Breonna Taylor, out of Kentucky, I believe. Apparently, she had some dude at her house that might have been a drug dealer, okay? Might have been a drug dealer. Allegedly, there was drugs going to her house, whatever. The police show up to arrest dude or to see what's going on in there. It's a no-knock warrant, okay? Which is retarded. There should not be a such thing as no. That's retarded. That's just an ultimate infringement on your Fourth Amendment rights. Now he says that you have to go through all these hoops to get it approved, but a no-knock warrant. You go to somebody's house with a no-knock warrant, and the Breonna Taylor's boyfriend or whatever he was, had a gun. Somebody bust up in his house. Now they allege that they did knock, but there's nothing that corroborates that. So anyway, as far as I know right now, dude starts blasting at the police, who he doesn't know is the police. They return fire, or I don't know who shot first, but Breonna Taylor ends up getting killed, and the dude ended up shooting and wounding one of the police officers. Now he's charged with attempted murder. But that's what led to this conversation. But so that's how he, you have to be ready for things to go 100% south. You got to be ready to kill a 90-year-old woman. He's saying because the burglar might be in the vicinity of this old lady, and he might get the blasting off, and they just got to start blazing off too. They just like they can't pick and aim and pick their shots. They have to just start blasting up the whole house. Because I know that's what people are going to come with. Right? But you have to, if you have to, you kill a 90-year-old woman. Not the burglar, but the 90-year-old woman. Because a burglar might be in the house and you don't know what he's going to do with what. That's the mentality of the police. That's why the police are so dangerous. That's why the police are that's why we don't need police as they exist right now. We need to police our own neighborhoods. If we don't police our own neighborhoods, we need to hire private police forces that have to compete for that position. They can't just have it because a government functionary said, we're going to do this and that. No. Like they had to do in parts of Detroit. Because the police kicked rocks and got out of there because the city went bankrupt. So they had to hire a private security force. That security force has to do great service. They have to provide a great service in order to maintain that account. And that's what makes the difference. But with municipal police, county police, or whatever police, they don't have no worry of that. No, because they're assigned. They fill out job applications and they have to get the position. They go through background checks and then they're deemed worthy. But they're not deemed worthy by the people.
You ready to go, or you gonna get yourself killed. And if you go somewhere and you ready to go at all times, you can be reasonable when people are reasonable to you. As soon as something hit the fan, you ready because you already had your mind made up that you are willing to make that decision if it's necessary. They don't teach that.
That decision to kill a 90-year-old woman because he felt threatened by somebody in the room or in the building.
I'm prepared to go 100% with anybody I ever deal with. I'm ready to go all the way, life or death. And that's what you should be thinking, and therefore you can avoid it. You can say,
Houseway? That way you can avoid it? How about you approach it like one human being to another, like one equal human being to another equal human being, not as a master to slave, not as you know what I mean? Not as someone who's superior to another. How about you de-escalate? Yes, you'll always be ready to go. Always be ready. Always be on your toes. Always keep your head on a swivel. Always stay frosty. But to devolve to the point, like to devolve to the idea that you would have to kill a 90-year-old woman and that you would have to. I can't wrap my mind around the it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Let me see something here. Oh shit. No.
here's my explanation on why I left the police department.
I don't care about that.
When y'all step up in the building,
Oops.
y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Word to
Yeah.
mother.
All right.
Y'all
Sorry.
Make
Now, this is what I want to do.
Somewhere and you ready to go at all times, you can be reasonable.
I want to look at
reasonable to you. As soon as
the
something hit
comments.
the fan, you ready because you already had your mind made.
Let's see what they talking about in the comment
And
section.
if he got out with a gun, I would have killed him. You know, so, but I had my son with me, so I'm like, you know what? It's not worth the fight. Because I don't want to have to kill this man in front of my son, because I am expecting it to go completely south. Everything you do as a police officer, you have to expect that it's going to go 100% south. This situation with an old lady reporting a burglary call can be life and death. When I go to this call, she's 90-year-old woman reporting a burglary. I have to be ready to kill that lady if I have to. And people may think, oh, that's so weird and whatever. But you gotta be ready to go.
Look at the comment
Or
section.
you're gonna get yourself killed. And if you go
Trump
somewhere and you're
2020.
ready to go at all times, you can be reasonable when people are reasonable to you. As soon as something hit the fan, you ready because you already had your mind
Thou
made
shalt
up
not kill.
that you are willing to make that decision if it's necessary. They don't
Keep
teach
telling me.
that to people anymore. I'm prepared to go 100% with anybody I ever deal with. I'm ready to go all the way life or death.
Yeah, no one really cares that
That's
he's
what you
willing
should
to
be
kill a.
thinking.
No one,
Therefore-
no one cares that he's willing to kill an old lady who called in a burglary. No, it just, I don't get it, man. And now this is why I say everyone needs to be trained in the operation and safety of a firearm, and they all need to possess one. Even a 90-year-old woman. You cannot rely on the police for nothing. If somebody burglarizes your house and you're at home, you have to be able to handle the situation yourself. You got to be able to take the person out. You never know what they're going to have. Especially if they have a weapon. If you can talk them down, if you can get the drop on them, talk them down, more power to you. That's what I would prefer. But if they got a weapon and they willing and they show they're willing to come at you, you got to be able to take them out. And then you call the police to come pick up the mess. Yo, because exactly for this reason. You might call the police to come check on a burglary at your house and end up dead yourself. Especially if you look a certain way and have a certain jib that may look threatening or intimidating to them. Because the one thing about police, they are very, very fearful. They're afraid of everything and everybody. They're not stable because they're taught to be unstable. They're taught to react unstably. They're taught to react in an aggressive manner and to fear everyone and every encounter and all this other stuff. So, of course, you have to be ready for that. So, but if you tell them, oh, you know what, somebody burglarized my house, but I took care of them, they're on the ground, they're no longer a threat, then you give them, okay, when they show up, okay, obviously the guy took out the perpetrator somehow. So now we can level down our fucking our psychopathy. We can dial it down a little bit. Man. Anyway, this is all I got for now, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think, man. What do you think about that? Do you think there's any point where you might have to kill an old lady, and that's what your thought is? Now, if there's an accident, okay, maybe there's a shootout, and then you get winged or something, then boom, you fall this way, and the gun goes off, and then hits. Yeah, but to have the mentality before you even show up, that I might have, man, you got your sirens on, and you're blasting down the street. Oh man, I might have to kill this old lady, man. What the fuck? Anyway, man, that's all I got, man. Whatever. Listen, man, I don't get no followers going after this cat. The reason I do it is because of freedom and the fact that people think this dude is freedom minded. He's not, man. He wants you to be compliant. Comply or die to the police. That's his mentality. I get people in my comment section all the time about this dude. Oh, he just wants freedom. Oh, he wants the people to be free from the Dems. It's just I just whoa, I can't even find the right words, man. It's appalling to think that people like him has such a huge following, and that so many people have bought into the cult of personality and suffer from so much cognitive dissonance that it just stops. It halts progress. You can't have progress with people like him at the helm of such a huge following. But I know y'all gonna come up in here. Y'all gonna talk shit. Go ahead, leave it in the comment section. I like it. I love it. And it just exposes the silliness. Like I don't delete comments, even the ones that come after me personally. Hey, go ahead and handle your business. Go ahead and leave that comment in the comment section. I don't care. Do it. Let's get it cracking. So anyway, that's all I got for now, man. Like, share, subscribe. If you like this video, it is what it is. Peace out.